Hi there. This is Neil from Let's Get More Sales. Thanks for downloading the download. It's 30 minutes approximately and 7 sections. So it's around about 4 minutes per section. And it's a great opportunity for you to unclutter, get stuff out of your head and get it onto a piece of paper so that you can think about it and talk about it with more clarity rather than it going through your head like a tumble dryer. Entrepreneurs like us who are doing well, the reason we got into business varies for all of us, but most of it is so that we're in control of our income and our destiny, and we can vary it depending on how much hard work we put in, compared to being in a job where you can be just in a job and everybody expects you to work hard for less money for some reason. But nonetheless, here we go. For us, a lot of us, there's an awful lot of clutter going around, and this is down to the fact that we're reacting an awful lot because we're wearing so many hats. Employees rush up to us with their problems and they want a solution or a decision, and you feel that you have to give them a decision that you then have to think about, and with all the other different areas going on, it's not simple, and this can lead to what's called overwhelm. And most of us don't like to admit that we're in overwhelm, but it can be a big issue for a lot of us. So this is a way of getting the time back so that you can think about replacing yourself or just increasing income or reducing the amount of time that you spend in the business and keeping the team focused on what the business needs are. So it's an opportunity to download it onto a piece of paper, which is, if you've downloaded the document that comes with this tutorial, fantastic. If you haven't, just get a piece of paper. That will work reasonably well. Try and find a place where you can sit down, no interruptions. This is about what you want out of your business. So think of me like a late night DJ, and it's just you and I on the road, etc., etc. So relax and enjoy, and let's go. This is what the download looks like, the sheet of paper that you've got. It's quite simple. For the moment, we're going to try and focus on the big issues, and so that you could just sort of start to get it out. So, if I ask you to put down everything about your business all in one sheet of paper, it's not going to happen. But what we can do is start to get to grips with the big issues. So we're going to start in the top right-hand corner. So that's over here. So I want you to think, right, we've been working together, or you've been working on your business for 6 months, or 6 months to a year, and you're looking back and you're trying to say, yeah, that worked out well. It happened. I'm happy with what happened, what we did, etc., etc. So if you're that state of mind, just think yourselves about being 6 months from now, we're sitting down talking and we're reviewing what's happened, and I want you to think, yeah, what revenue would I have liked for my business to be turning over after those 6 months? And I'm comfortable and happy and said, yeah, that's worked out well. Now, at the moment, we're in the middle of the COVID lockdown, and you may either be doing extremely well because your business is suddenly highly in demand and it never was, or you may be completely devastated by what's happening, or somewhere in between where you've just put the whole business on pause and you're looking to restart. For the purpose of this business, for this tutorial, just ignore that and think outside of that and just sort of think, what would it have been that you would like the situation to be? So when you got into the business, where are you now? Where would you like to be? And so I've just put down a figure there, 1.2 million. You could put down what really is important to you. Just remember, it's your show. I'm a late night DJ and I'm not really here. No one else is. So you can put down a figure that you go, yeah, that really, really motivates me. Or a figure that you just think is plain realistic. It doesn't matter. Okay? For the moment, we want to know what you want out of the business. So let's move on. So that's our target income. Okay? And here we are. Now we're looking at how much time do you spend or want to spend working in the business? Because for an awful lot of people, It might not be the amount of hours a week. It might be the ability to leave the business for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, to be able to sell the business as a going concern without you involved in it. It's great to be involved with the business, but it's a pain when it all depends on you and it doesn't work without you. So think about how many hours a week you'd like to work. For some people, if you've got kids, this is a big issue. You want to be part of them growing up. You want to be able to spend time with your partner, or as I say, you might just want to be able to go away. But the important bit is some people really, really love being in their business and don't want to be anywhere else. Okay, it's their life's purpose and they don't want to do anything else. That's fine. It's personal. It is what it is for you. Okay, so we now move on, and this is almost a drops out from the net income, gross revenue to the net income. Now, this is an important figure because this is the result of all the hard work that you've done. Okay, and some people just want to take it out of the business, and other people will go, well, actually, now that we've grown the business, I want to grow it again. For me, that's the sensible answer, but each of us to our own, our purpose here is for what you want out of the business. So we'll crack on now and move on to slide number 7, which is the current situation. Now, unlike what's going to happen in the future and what you would like, which we could put in round figures, for the moment, put in the figure that you best know to be true for each of these situations. And when you come around to scheduling a call and we're talking together, I'd like you to have got the exact figures, okay? Because it's really important to know where we're starting from. I've even said myself, on average we do, £90,000 a month. So that's 1,880,000. And when you look at the figures, it's not. There'll be 1 or 2 months which are disastrous, 1 or 2 months are absolutely brilliant, and you're not close to that figure. So we need to be relatively accurate when we come round to that. So here we go. I've just filled in these figures here, and the figure for time, it's really weird. We think we know how many hours we work because that's what everybody else works in the business. So work starts at 7:30 or 8 o'clock and finishes at 5 or 5:30 or whatever it is, and you think you're there 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. But as an entrepreneur, and I've had to get into the business at 6 o'clock in the morning before now, so I can think and do what I need to do without anybody else being around. Because when it comes around to the time that everyone else is, I'm being pulled in all different directions with emergency stuff. Okay, and you could say that's bad management, but it's also the reality of a small business. So I used to go in early, and I would do stuff after work, and then I would drop stuff off, and it would inevitably a lot longer than I thought it was. Certainly being at weekends, 1, maybe 2 days. And if you think that you're not sure how many hours you're actually putting in, ask your partner, if you have one, how many hours they think that you work, and that will be a slightly different figure to what you thought it was. Okay, and then again, we've got the net figure here for for your income. Please double check this. I'm not after tax. It's all before tax. So if you can come up with what is your net figure that is as close to your accounts as can possibly be. And the reason for that is because it's known. You know what it is. Now, if you've got the form in front of you, this next bit won't be too much of a surprise. It's the gap. It's the difference between the two. Now, this is, in this example, it's quite straightforward. This is if you take the current away from the target, that is the amount of increase in revenue that you're looking for out of the business. Simple as that. So that's the value that you're looking to add to the business. The time there, we're looking for a reduction of 35 hours in the business and a net increase in income of £60,000, 60,000 whatever. That's fine. Whatever it is, relax. Just don't try and change it or alter it or think that it's not right or not realistic or it's not enough or whatever. It's your figures for the moment. What we're trying to do is get to where you want to be, which is the target, not argue about how we get there. That's a discussion for later. So we've done just over 10 minutes now. You can take a break, or if you can crack straight on, we'll go on to what is this slide here. And this is the current situation. What are you actually doing to get those figures coming through? Now, a lot of people can sometimes get a bit stuck on the process of what's in their business. If you have a retail business that you run a shop in a shopping mall or something like that, you may just have the simple figure of a turnover figure. Okay. Other people, if you have a e-commerce business, you can have a complete sales process showing exactly from what activity led to exactly what results. And you know every link in the chain, all the click-through rates and conversion rates, and they are laid out for you on your software. So other people have different sort of processes. So if you can, you know what your monthly revenue is, your monthly customers, and the monthly leads. So if you could put then those figures in, we get an approximate look like this. So you've got a turnover of 75,000, you've got 300 customers, and you've generated 300 leads. If your sales process is not as linear as that, okay, you may have 4 or 5 different sales processes. You may even have more, where you may be emailing people. You may have people coming into a retail site. You may have salespeople over and above that. You may have telephone salespeople, and you may even be doing direct mail. There's a whole host of situations, and each one needs to be separated out because it's all part of the sales process, and each one chain needs to be identified, and each link in that chain needs to be identified so that we can see what we can do to each change in the link and improve it. So here's, in this example, it says leads are generated by Google Ads or Facebook advertisements. Operative takes telephone call or email and hands to salesperson who converts sale. Existing customers will receive emails and sales letters. Salespeople on commission plus basic. That if you were selling double glazing, that may be something, the way that your business works. Okay, so if you could think about the sales process. If you're not sure, again, when we sit down, I will get it out of you. We're designed to get it so that we know where we are, so we can see which levers can be pulled. Because ultimately, the sales is the biggest single thing that you can alter in your business. The percent profit of everything after that can be tweaked, but you can't double the gross profit if it's 90%. You can't make it 180%. But you can double the amount of leads and potentially double the amount of sales, and then tweak what your gross margin is and your net margin is after that. But the number one thing that you can change is your marketing, which directly affects your sales, and the whole of that marketing process can be affected quite quickly and quite definitely. So if we now move on to what's probably going into your head now, which is, well, I don't know whether I can change all that. I can't do this and I can't do that. This is your opportunity to get it out of your head. Okay? All the stuff. If I said to you, what's the main reason why you're not getting enough sales? And quite simply, some people are, the sales team aren't closing. They're not closing. Now, that's an opinion. Okay, is it a fact? Will be dealt with when we get deeply into the numbers and all the chains and processes and seeing exactly what is or isn't happening. The sales team might not be getting enough leads. The sales team might not have the correct script to actually finish closing. There's so many different things, but at this moment, you dump down what you think. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame other people. Just get it out of your head. Just remember, I'm a late night DJ. You're all by yourself. You're just doing this and writing it down, and it's yours, and nobody else gets to see it unless you decide to share it. So if it's wrong or whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, it's in your head at the moment. Get it out. So the next thing to do after that is try and get some numbers and facts and figures for it. Now, it is very easy if you have an e-commerce business. You can see on Facebook or on whatever your CRM system is, you can see exactly what has or has not happened, the ratios, etc., etc., and you can then start to see what can or cannot be done to improve all of those figures. If your business is slightly more nebulous and it's not so obvious how the sales process is, some of these figures will be difficult. So if you have a shop in a shopping mall, you might actually find out that the amount of shoppers coming to the shopping mall has dropped. Okay, or they've increased, but the amount that are coming to your shop has dropped. Okay, so we need to know what is happening so we can see which levers to pull. Okay, and to verify whether or not the roadblocks are exactly what you think. So just dump it all down, and then we move on to brain drains. Now, this is the stuff that gets cluttered up and takes up your time, and is stuff that, in all truthfulness, you don't really want to think about, but it bothers you. Okay, there are so many of them. Here's an opportunity just to drop it down and put it out, and so that you don't have to think about it. It may be an issue, it may not be an issue, but they're there. It gets into your head, and you have to deal with something. I had one of the guys who worked for me. He just would not touch a computer. He just said, "Oh no, I'm too old, don't know how to do it, won't do it, won't touch it." Very important guy in the organization, but just would not send an email, draft out quotes, do anything that involved a screen and a keyboard. And the frustration is just so immense, because that meant that effectively he needed a secretary to do something that was just 20 or 30 seconds of time if it wasn't for that. So big irritation, and it affected lots of different things, but mainly it affected the way I was thinking and what just irritated me. So get these things out. They really, really are important. Okay, so we now move on to an opportunity to see what's happened in the past and see what was the best things that happened. Just look at what your good months were and work out why. Now, it's again, we can go and see which products that it is that we've done, and from those products we can see which promotions that we did. Okay, and from there we can see how much effect that they actually had. Now, it's very important, especially if you're advertising, to make sure that the timing's correct. The amount of times that people that I've spoken to and businesses I've been in where people were saying, "Oh yes, we did this and that happened in the same month," but it was after, or it was a different process. It just didn't relate. So you need to double check what it is that's driving your best results. Okay, and that's incredibly important. As you will see, it means that you can then take the opportunity to review what's happened previously and see whether or not it's appropriate to run it again. Okay, and then finally, here we are, all excited. This is the focus and fix. The two big words are focus and fix. It's a matter of looking at the important stuff, not the stuff that's drained your brain, not the opinions that you've had, but to look at what's been working. What can we do again? Obvious solutions to roadblocks. Now, sometimes I can't tell you what that is right now. If you've got an answer for yourself, please put it down. That's fantastic, and implement it as soon as possible. If not, or you're unsure in any of these processes, just schedule an appointment. It's free, and we will spend half an hour together trying to get this more sorted for you, and then see whether or not it's appropriate that you want to move forward with the Business Accelerator program, which is an 8-week program that will give you the opportunity to try and move the needle as far as we possibly can to achieve what your target is. Now, I don't want to be in the situation where you say, oh, I would like this target, and I say, well, I don't really believe it's achievable, but I'll work with you anyway. If I don't think it's achievable, I will tell you. I'll tell you what I do think is achievable, and if that's exciting to you, then let's crack on and get going with it. But if not, you're welcome to have used this program to see whether or not it works for you. So thanks for your time. There are other downloads available which deal with things in more detail and completely other different subjects. But go back to letsgetmoresales.com, schedule a call, and you're more than welcome to look at the other products, the other downloads that we had. But ultimately, we've got to lead to some sort of action. So good luck with all of that, and I'll speak to you soon.